Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the FPL Hangover podcast where we raise the bar, lower the tone, all things FPL related. We are recording here on the 17th of May. I think this time next week, this whole circus will be said and done. So with that in mind, we've put together something a little bit special tonight. The season's nearly over, so we've put together the FPL Hangover Awards. It's just a collection of some obvious categories, some not so obvious categories. We've got a load of guest announcers, and we've even got a special return for tonight as well. But we'll save that till I get to that in the intro. But allow me to introduce you to the first person who's going to help me get through all this nonsense tonight. My podcast partner in crime, Paddy. How are you getting on?
Not too bad. I'm very excited to be here and looking forward to it, Jer.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And the second podcast partner in crime, that's right, there's two of them. An OG podcast partner in crime. He's been on the bench for 6 months, but he wasn't going to let this season finish without getting a chance to say goodbye. How are you getting on, my friend? Seamus, come on. How are you?
I'm good. I would have let this season go out without saying goodbye, such as how crap my last couple of months have been FPL wise, but it's good to be back.
Yeah,
kind of enjoying it now that I'm here and had a few beers for brewskis.
I should have said I wasn't going to let you get away with this season ending before I brought you back on, so you could talk us through how the season's been since you took a little break. But yeah, I have Paddy and Seamus in the studios tonight, and we have a whole load of shit to get through. Make sure to hit subscribe, like, all the usual jazz, and we'll get this before we get the Hangover Awards on the road. Let's do a little quick situation report. Seamus, you've been away the longest, so how has it all been since you left us?
I mean, up and down, but basically probably at the same place I was before all this started happening. I think I had a really good February or something like that. That was probably around the last time I was on here. I went on a good streak and was like, oh yeah, look, pushing up to get into the top 100k. It was up as far as 132k. And then over the last couple of weeks, it's just been bouncing between 195k and 125k. I'm currently at 156k after a bit of a red arrow of a week. That blank game with the Liverpool United game was called off. That game week absolutely bent me over because I had triple Chelsea and two of my guys were rotated out, and then I had four guys in the Liverpool United game. So since then, I've just been sulking a bit. So that's why I was happy to let the season go without saying anything, especially watching your rank, you ascend the ladder into the top 10k.
Yeah, it's been a pretty fantastic season for myself. I'm still in a little bit of shock, and obviously there's 2 game weeks left, so I don't want to say anything or jinx anything, but as at the moment, I'm pretty happy. The last 2 weeks for me have gone pretty well. I'm up to just outside the top 8k. I think it's 8.3k now. Bench boost was nailed in the double game week, 35, so 160 points there. As I said, I've crept up 4,000 or 5,000 places in the last couple of weeks. But that's enough about me. Paddy, how has everything been for you? You're also looking at a bunch of green arrows.
Yeah, the only way was up for me, and thank God, the green arrows kept coming. Very excited, so I'm just about to break into my first ever top 100k finish. I know there's a few out there that are, they'll probably be thinking, oh, top 100k, it's not that great. But to me, it's fucking top 10k to me, and I'm excited, and I'm hoping these last 2 game weeks I don't fuck it up.
No,
Paddy, do you attribute that to Jer's steady hand, his tutelage in since I've been gone and you've been here on the pod, or is he talking you out of rogue moves, or are you are you the reason why he's doing so well? That's what I want to know.
He's been like a fucking guiding light for me. I come on, right? I haven't looked at FPL all week, right? And God love Jared. He's prepping the pod and all. And I just come on here and sit and just try to fill your boots for a couple of weeks, Seamus. And me and Jared have a talk on the pod, and I get all my thoughts out in the pod, and then that's what I do. I just do my moves and I just fucking go from there. So I have to give Jared credit now. He's been a bright light for me. my FPL season here, the second half of it.
Your dog agrees, Paddy, and I'm loving all of the admiration this evening so far. But
That's a ringing endorsement, sure. That's a ringing endorsement for this pod. Can we get that in a blurb and put it onto this? I was going to say website, but we don't have a website. Put it onto the Twitter page.
which the dog barking? This has gone off. This has started tremendously. Paddy's already off putting the dog to bed.
No, the dog was. I locked the dog in the fucking room there. She was barking. She's okay now.
You should have him on the show. He should be on your bloody lap.
I'm sorry. Apologies for that.
Yeah, but I think that's enough of the dwelling in the present. I was going to say dwelling in the past, but I suppose we're about to go and dwell even more so in the past. We've got a bunch of categories coming up. There's a load of you in the chat. A big hello to all of you. Nice to see Nuclear Keen, Lynn's there, Amond, Chim Paradox. There's a rake of you there. Pleasure to have you on board. But we might as well get this show on the road. First up, we're going to start with a relatively straightforward one. I mean, we've got a couple of... We're going to do all the positions tonight, obviously. So... Yeah. Bit of blue for the dads. But no, we're gonna get through them all. And first up, we have the FPL Goalkeeper of the Year. What many would describe as the fridge of a football team is the goalkeeper. And this award has been sponsored kindly by Bush Electronics. So first up are the 4 nominees for the Goalkeeper of the Year. There is Mendy, Martinez, Sanchez, and Meslier. So before we break them down individually, would both of you agree with the top 4? I'll go with Paddy first. Would you agree with that top 4 nominations?
Yeah, 100%. Fucking nailed it.
What about yourself, Seamus?
I'm trying to see what the top 4 are, like, in order, or the actual nominations.
Just the nominations: Mendy, Martinez, Sanchez, and Meslier. Is there any keepers you think I might have left out?
No, I think those are the main ones. Yeah, Mendy, since he's come in, has been good. But yeah, no, I agree with all those.
We've got our first complaint. Nuclear is not happy with Seamus not having a green screen this evening.
I can stick on a green screen.
I think you've got a really nice picture that you wanted to show off, and you shouldn't be bullied. You shouldn't be bullied by these people into changing.
No, is that a CD collection or a book collection behind you, Seamus?
Some books, there's some CDs, there's some DVDs. What I'm really showing off is this guy.
Oh yeah, what's that? Show us that.
Which is that's what it's all about, Ger, isn't that right?
That's the baby. That's what's coming home this year.
In my possession for another week at least. Wow. But that's what we do it for. So you'll see my name on that a couple of times, Ger's name on there. 4 years in a row.
Is this the Hangover trophy?
This predates the Hangover.
More important.
This is our own kind of mini league.
The Jeff Stelling Cup.
Right, I love it.
But we've been meaning to pick up a trophy for the Hangover, but I just think it's hard to, like, just some cunt won't give it back. Do you know? That's the I'd look at it. And what's the point of having a trophy if it isn't the same trophy from year to year? But yeah, so they're the 4 nominees.
It'll be stuff over in Norway or Sweden or someone, like, with, I don't know, whoever, Lynn, or be over in the UK, and then they just won't post it back. You know, it's just...
No, Lynn definitely wouldn't, I? Hey, I'll tell you what. Do you see there's a wee account now on Twitter called virtualtrophy.com, and you can actually put a link on your bio and put the names, and when you click the link, all the names of the people, the wee virtual trophy pops up. It's pretty cool. I'm going to try it next season.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, and then you don't have to post it anywhere.
It certainly sounds cheaper.
Definitely sounds cheaper. Yeah, send us out a link when you're done, Petty. But getting back to the category, Goalkeeper of the Year, I think it's pretty obvious. I think we all would have voted for the same keeper here. I know I cast mine for Martinez. Paddy, Seamus, would you have been similar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my vote too, Martinez. I've only had him like 2 or 3 weeks of the season. No, I had him about 4 weeks of the season, but I was doing a rotation with Pope at one stage, and I should just played Martinez every week. He's been, like, by far and away the best keeper. Probably the best keeper in the last 5 or 10 seasons.
See,
in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I had not an argument. I had a discussion about this with someone, and I was kind of like of the opinion that, you know, every season there's a Martinez. I mean, last year we were talking about Pope kind of similarly. We've had discussions about, other 4.5s. Henderson the year before that. Or was that last year as well? But you know what I mean? Like, there's always a kind of, a keeper that everyone talks about. But I do think, with some of the, like, the stories you heard, like, you had your Pope rotation. I know I transferred him out when you got a a blank that week that Aston Villa were blanking. I went to Leeds. That cost me a bunch of points. I probably didn't have enough of Martinez in my team this season, but what price are you thinking he's going to come in next year? Is he going to be over the top, untouched?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just interrupted you, Paddy. Paddy was going to say something. But what I'd say here is, like, he's on 180 points this year. I mean, look, he could hit 200. He's only got a couple of games left, and he probably won't. But, like, Pope, who we all, like, creamed over last year, got 170 points. He's on 180. Pope came in at 5.5. So Martinez, you would think, is going to be 5.5 next season. And he'll probably be overvalued. But, I mean, like, Pope kind of matched his output. Pope's on 144 this year so far. Didn't he miss a couple of games?
Yeah, he's still missing. And he missed the last game. Sure, Peacock Farrell was in his place.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if he's going to be I'm always going to be somebody who's going to go for a 4.5 keeper. But I just wish I got on Martinez sooner. I mean, I had McCarthy for a while, was doing okay. But, like, he really fell off a cliff just about the time I jumped off, thankfully.
Yeah.
Sanchez is the only one, would be the least solid pick, I think, of the ones we have there. Mesle has been class.
Yeah.
I think he's been a revelation. Any other season, we're talking about how good he was.
Yeah, we have Tom Moriarty in the chat. He's also talking about Mesli's merits. He was he would have probably have been my second vote. There's a couple of honorable mentions there as well. I think Ederson, I mean, I know he's a bit of a boring pick, but what can you say? He's up in the top again, and he was pretty much an assured starter for City, unless you were looking at game week 36, in which case Carson comes out of nowhere to to rob some minutes. But Ederson, Lloris, Johnston, they were all kind of keepers that we had an eye on as well, but they didn't make the cut. And without further ado, let's get to the winner. I think it's a bit obvious who it is, but yes, Emil Martinez ran away with the show. I think he had 60+% of the votes, and there was no stopping him. I don't know if he comes in at 5 million or above next season. If I'd be looking at him, I'd be a bit worried based on how Villa are ending this season defensively. Would you agree, or what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree. Did any of you guys hop on? When did you get on Martinez? Was it quite soon, or were you on him like from the start, or
probably like the first quarter of the season? It wasn't definitely.
Joe was on him early.
Yeah, I was on McCarthy too. So, but it's hard to get them right at the very beginning. So, but if he's overpriced, the fun is trying to find the little gem.
I refused to make it a goalkeeper transfer first half of the season until I used my first wild card. So I just stuck with McCarthy, and he was returning. Like, he was giving me value for his 4.5 million, and Martinez was looking good. But I was like, am I really going to use a transfer on this, like on a keeper? So I didn't bother. I wish I kind of went earlier. I got him in. He did well, but then his fixtures didn't look great, or I was targeting somebody else's fixtures, and I just dumped him. And I was like, on my second wild card, and that kind of feels like foolishness. Although as George says, he's finished the season poorly, but I put that solely down to Jack Grealish not being on the pitch the last 8-10 game weeks, and not giving the defense any respite. And when he gets the ball, he draws fouls. It takes the pressure off the defense. So
yeah,
if he comes back, that'd be different next season. I think he still could be good. I actually, as a matter of interest, while we were talking there, I kind of had a look around. I'm trying to find a goalkeeper who scored more than 180 points recently. Now, I'm sure Brad Friedel or someone did in the past, but I can't see any goalkeeper. I even went back and checked Joe Hart, who hasn't played any minutes this season. His highest ever points in the season was 175. I wonder what that is. I can't find anyone so far who's scored more points for a goalkeeper in a season than Meslier has so far with a couple of games to go.
Seamus, that's some impressive fucking stuff. Like, not only do you look physically impressive, you've just come out here with some of the best fucking goalkeeper stats I've ever heard in my life.
We got 10 minutes in before Paddy starts swooning over Seamus.
I was already saying I've got serious Henry Cavill, Jamie Dornan vibes off him. I'm a bit starstruck here.
I love you too, man. Love you too. Yeah, even David De Gea and his pump got 172 points. Like, I can't find anyone who's going to outscore Martinez. He has to be goalkeeper season. I'm going to say goalkeeper of the decade.
That's a
big
shout. We also had Keane screaming at us in the chat, asking us whether or not Alisson should be in the list. And you know what? If this nomination was done maybe a week earlier or a week later, there's a good chance he would have been in with the Sharks runners. But I don't know. scoring a goal, that was pretty fucking massive. That's enough. He doesn't need an award. He has the goal.
Whose goal was better, Alisson's or Schmeichel's?
I haven't rewatched Schmeichel's, but I'm never going to admit a Liverpool goalkeeper's goal is better.
Peter Schmeichel's?
Yeah.
Or is there Casper Schmeichel going on? No, it has to be.
That's the right answer. Peter Schmeichel. Thank you very much.
No, it's definitely Alisson. Alisson's like actually scored a pure goal, like a goal that you would not. Like the only goals you ever see a goal, and look, I have to say, a goalkeeper scoring a goal is one of the best things in football. I was driving the other day. I was picking up takeaway or something. I was driving home, and he went up, and I was like, "You love to see it. Wouldn't you love to see him go?" The keeper scored. I nearly crashed the car. The commentator was going so wild, and I was hoping Liverpool would drop points because I'm a United fan. But I was actually celebrating. I was like, "Get in there! You just love to see it. It doesn't matter if it's the pool." You know, you just want to see a goalkeeper score. And he actually scored a pure header, like not a scuffy in off his knee after a scramble in the box, pinball, bollocks. It was, I think that's probably been my highlight of the season. Like,
do you think he meant it? I thought it just kind of.
Did you think he meant it? Of
was
course
not
he
like
meant it.
Was it a bit of a deflection?
I think you're trying to debate the pool fans listening here today.
There's a lot of them in the chat. They're screaming.
I heard that it was the first ever winning Premier League goal a goalkeeper has scored.
Well,
because you never send your keeper up to win. You take your point, normally in a league game. So like to actually send one up when you're drawing to get the 3 points and then to actually score, like it just has so much, that goal.
Yeah,
I could talk about this goal the entire awards.
Just the last thing I'll say on the goal, right? It was, and I want to, I've been a bit harsh there to the Liverpool fans, but I can only imagine like what it must have felt like, them looking to get into the top four. It was 90 minutes plus, huge moment. Goalkeeper comes up and scores. I can only compare to what it must have felt like for when Ole Solskjaer scored that winning goal to win us the Champions League. And against Bayern Munich, like the feelings were was just absolutely amazing. Like, so credit to the Liverpool fans, and they're getting their wee top four spot there. So nice goal, Alisson.
Yeah, nothing condescending about that at all. But we do send our big respect to any FPL goalkeeper that bangs one in. But yeah, that's.
It should. I just to interrupt real quick. A goalkeeper goal should be worth like 20 points FPL wise. Yeah, I'm just saying it. But has to be. What happens? Like, when was the last time it happened? Like 6 years ago. Give someone a monster haul.
What happens then if a goalkeeper starts taking penalties, like the Ederson rumors?
Then you have to get him. Everyone has him. You pay.
The game is ruined if you don't have Ederson then, or someone, whatever goalkeeper's taking penalties. But yeah, we'll tie a knot in it. We'll wrap it up. Bartness is going to be there. Fair play, Tim.
Just reading the comments there, Schmeichel's goal seems to be the most popular one there. So anyway, moving on.
Twitter or the YouTube crowd have decided it. We no need to look into that any further. Next up, we have one of my preferred categories this year. It is also the first guest announced category. I believe we can leave this one, or leave the guest announcer and the winner until the very, very end of it. But we're going to mix it up with some of the other ones. But this one is Villain of the Year. And there was obviously 4 nominations for this. Dean Smith for his foul-mouthed, attack on fantasy football, also being a prick and not telling the truth about Jack Grealish, but his foul-mouthed attack on fantasy football players and their reality. We had the Super League for reasons that don't need to be mentioned. We had, who else did we have, Seamus?
We had Jordan Pickford, and we had Pep Roulette.
I'm conscious of not flicking through papers as we're doing it, but I'm like, that's better than forgetting what the fuck you're going to say, you gobshite. But Jordan Pickford, Pep Roulette, Super League, and Dean Smith were the 4 contenders. So before we get to the winner, who would ye guys have voted for? Seamus, I'll throw this one to you.
I'm just looking back because I obviously voted on this as well. I seem to have voted for Pep Roulette, although I don't think I would have. If I'm looking back at it now, I think Pep Roulette is a constant, so that can't be prick of the year. That's on me. That's a thing. That can't be the worst thing. I think I would have voted for probably the Super League. That seemed like a pretty dickish move.
Paddy?
Yeah, fucking kind of torn, because Dean Smith was a bit of a wanker, the way he kind of shat on the
That,
FPL
that was a
community.
personal attack, really, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that was all out war. Pep was a bit of a cunt too. You pick a few players and you want to enjoy your FPL week, and then he does that. But yeah, no, the Super League, fuck the Super
Yeah,
League. Yeah,
we have
right up
Az
the
in
bum.
the chat from FPL Black Box, so he'll know all about Dean Smith's foul-mouthed attack on FPL. But I think there was pretty much only ever going to be one winner, I think. In this category, but let us know in the chat who you would have picked. Again, Pickford, Martinez, or not Martinez. Martinez is everywhere at the moment. Pickford, Dean Smith, the Super League, and someone else. But let's go straight over to our first guest announcer. I suppose I'm calling this. Before we go over it, I've been calling this Villain of the Year. That was the PG term I put on Twitter because I didn't want the fucking tweet to be blocked. The actual FPL Hangover term is Cumrag of the Year. And without further ado, allow me to pass this over. Please say hello to Hindu Monkey. He is one of the members of the Three Amigos podcast, and you can find him on Twitter at Hindu Monkey, I'm assuming. But over to you, buddy.
Hello, this is Hindu Monkey, here to present the Cumrag of the Year award. The nominees are Jordan Pickford for ending the career of Virgil. Richard Hawley, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, you're taking over my team and now you're taking over my video. Go on, get out. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I apologise to him. Jordan Pickford for ending Virgil van Dijk's career. Dean Smith for telling us that Jack Grealish will be back every single game and him not. Pep Roulette for just not playing your players at any point ever, except when you don't want them to. Or finally, the European Super League for being the biggest set of elitist fuckpuffins you're ever likely to see. You see what I've got to work with here? I'm a winnerist. Don't nuzzle the phone. Don't nuzzle the phone. It's the European Super League. You absolute bunch of cumrags.
So hopefully that came out loud and clear. I'm hearing good things.
They're enjoying it.
They're enjoying that one, yeah. That actually had me in absolute stitches. A big shout out to Richard Hawley. I think Richard Hawley. Richard was his first name. Hawley was definitely his surname. But a big shout out to the cat as well. As far as I'm concerned, we have a new star on the FPL Hangover. Absolutely amazing. And a big thank you again to Hindu Monkey for taking the time out to do that. Much appreciated. But as he announced, Cumrag of the Year is the Super League. It was going to always be tough to beat that. I know I got put in I don't want to go on a big fucking rant about Super League again, but I got put in a big funk for about, I think it lasted 3 days before it went from this is happening to this is not happening. But I was down and fucking out for about 3 days. I was so fucking depressed. Did you guys did it affect you at all, or were you just whatever, this is football?
Yeah, it was fucking horrible. I didn't masturbate for a week.
Lies. That's a lie.
Stone cold lie.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Future. I think Az there in the chat was saying it had to be Dean Smith, and because he felt it was a personal attack and everything I believe in. I think we all feel like that as people obsessed with FPL. But no, the Super League not just attacked FPL, but attacked football. I actually felt like you're saying, Jar, I was like, this is it. Fuck football. I'm sick of this shit. Ticket prices already obscene. Sky, BT, they want all your money to watch Crystal Palace versus Burnley on a Monday night. It's like, I'm sick of this. This felt like another money grab. Just games get further and further away from the fans. And it just felt like, and it kind of still does feel like they'll force this through a bit. But whatever. It was great to see fans come together and see some power from fans kind of stop it. So
yeah.
Hopefully things develop in such a way that I don't know what can happen.
I agree, but fuck Dean Smith too.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I think Dean Smith would have been my vote because that was
a close second.
That was But this was, I suppose, just the bigger picture kind of screwed us all over.
Yeah.
But there you have it. Cumrag of the Year, the Super League. It was always going to be tough to beat. Next up, we have Best Defender. Seamus, I believe I can hand this over to you.
You can, if you trust me with such precious cargo.
I trust you with my life.
Yeah, so we had 4 nominations for the best defender of the year. I can't say I have had all of these players in my team all season. So the 4 options were Aaron Cresswell for West Ham, Stuart Dallas for Leeds, Ruben Diaz for Man City, and Luke Shaw for United. So there's your 4 options, and I've had all of these defenders apart from Shaw. Have you? Have you? What about you guys? Have you had all these guys? I think everyone's had Diaz. I've only had Diaz like I don't know a pre-hit this season,
I
but I certainly had him.
I did have. I actually only had. I don't think I've had Diaz, and I haven't had Shaw. I mightn't have even had Cresswell. I mean, I know if I was to vote on your behalf, Seamus, it would certainly have been Cresswell because of that
Cresswell
run you had him
was
on.
amazing.
That was insane.
He was so good for me for so long. But I jumped off him at the right time too, so it all worked out.
Yeah, we had an award that we ended up cutting back just to kind of save a bit of time, and it was Basic Bitch Award. So it was basically the most reliable assets, like the least amount of time in between returns, and Cresswell was right up there. Like if you look at just his 90-minute matches or whatever, the games he started, the amount of games he started where he either got a clean sheet or an attack and return, and sometimes both, was insane.
Yeah, he was brilliant. But what about you, Paddy? Have you owned any or all of these, or anyone you didn't own?
The only one I owned out of all 3 of those, I haven't owned any of them, the other 3 at any time. The only one I had was Dallas.
So an easy vote for Dallas for you.
An easy vote for Dallas for me. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't have Diaz, Cresswell, or Shaw.
Well, and then you wonder why you're barely in the top 100k, Paddy. Come on.
Fuck
well, I'm down
you,
at
fucking
150K,
Mr. 10,
had...
Mr. fucking 10k. This
well,
fucking bollocks.
The lowest votes on it came to Luke Shaw actually. But he's had an amazing season with United, but I think Wan-Bissaka's got more FPL points. So I think even though Cresswell is in like major bits for me this season, I think it was still an easy vote for Dallas as far as I'm concerned. And I don't know how the rest of you feel, but it plays out in the tally because the winner of Defender of the Year goes to Dallas with 68.5% of the vote, a huge majority win from there. Next up actually was Diaz, who actually has a great shout for Player of the Year, but just for the value, starting at 4.5, playing in midfield more often than not. Dallas, I mean, the only thing I'd say about Dallas is he tends to score against Man City, got 2 goals against Man City, Spurs, he gets clean sheets, scores against United. Kind of in the games you kind of bench him in, especially recently. So I haven't got the full value out of him, but he's been by far and away the best value. He's been better than Lundstrom was last year, albeit a small bit higher.
yeah. So Lundstrom...
Yeah,
Sorry, go on, Paddy.
No, go on ahead, Mr. fucking 10k.
I knew I shouldn't have said that. But yeah, I can't even remember what I was going to say now. I'm mortified that I put you on blast. But I would like to draw an honourable mention to someone who I had in the last 4 and I ended up taking him out at the end. I don't know if it was the right decision or not, but James Justin, I think, for Leicester, he had an absolutely phenomenal start to the season, and outside of that horrific injury that, cut the season short, I think he would have easily been in this top 4. He was absolutely crazy to the point where people were angry to see him score points because it was just kind of, why don't I have him in my team? He was only 4.5. So a big shout out to himself. Chilwell was also the talk of the town for a while, and Trent and Robbo, we kind of know all about them, but I think ultimately I've been disappointed in them. But congrats to Dallas anyway. We'll send him the trophy in the post, I suppose.
He doesn't live too far from you. He's kind of from your area, King, isn't he?
Who?
Dallas.
Oh yeah, Dallas.
He's up north there somewhere. He's playing for Northern Ireland. That's kind of close to Donegal.
I didn't have a fucking notion he was.
Yeah, I know he's north of the border.
I know Shimmy Coleman is he's over the road, but I didn't know that about Dallas. Wow.
He's not from Donegal now, so I think he's from Antrim or something like that. But he's from
he's over the road, yeah.
Yeah, he's a stone's throw away.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't know literally until about 4 weeks ago myself when he started talking. I was like, oh yeah, you're actually Irish.
Fucking, I didn't know that. I was kind of like Lord Lundstrom. Remember, we didn't know he was fucking from Liverpool.
Is he from Liverpool? We have Lynn in the chat saying that no one will ever be better than Lord Lundstrom. I don't know if I agree with that. That seems like a one-hit wonder for me. What do you guys think? Is his mythology overstated?
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with Lynn, anyway.
Fair enough.
No
We'll
way.
move off of the topic before it gets too animated.
She'll come fucking. You walking down the street, she'll come flying out of a bar with a glass.
In the juggler. Next up, Paddy, you're taking the reins for this one. It is the best budget FPL player, so the Delhi AliExpress Award, as you so lovingly named it. Would you want to take over there, sir?
Yes. Well, indeed, the Delhi AliExpress, and this is the best budget player that you bring into your team. Isn't that? Am I right in saying that? No, I'm not actually. This is the.
You are right. It is the best, but yeah.
That's fucking right. Why did you make that face?
Me?
You bollocks. Right. The best budget player to get into your team, and the nominees are Bamford, Souček, Gundogan, and Veltmania. Now, and before I fucking we announce it, I'm hoping to see some predictions in there in the chat. Who would you guys have picked there, by the way, as well?
I think I've been on a bit of a boner for Gundogan since I started doing the award ceremony. I even said it to Kean about the impact I think he had on the season in general for City, and I know it wasn't forever, but within the season itself, I think he provided immense value. But I also, you gotta love Souček and Bamford. But I think I would have probably put my vote on Gundogan. What about you, Seamus?
I voted Souček. I thought he was amazing in the middle part of the season after their tough run of games to start with. You could kind of predict when his fixtures came good, it was the time to get on. You got on him early, Ger. I came on a couple of weeks later just because I had other fires to put out in my team. But I think a lot of people got on and got those points as a fifth midfielder, and that's what you want. I mean, Gundogan is another one that I was close to voting for, but I voted for Souček anyway.
What about you, Paddy? Who'd you vote for?
I voted for Bamford, but that's because he was in my team the majority of the season for me. I did have a great spell with Gundogan as well, but and I didn't get the Souček. I didn't get on the Souček train, and I actually have a soft spot for Veltman too. He came in near the end, but yeah, I voted for Bamford. Bamford was for me.
That seems to be the common kind of result in the chat as well. It seems to be either Gundogan or Bamford down to those two.
It's a split vote.
Do you know what? There's three players there that were very kind to me: Bamford, Gundogan, and Veltman. I never got on the Souček.
Oh, really? I smashed Souček. Yeah, Seamus said I just got.
Did you? Yeah.
It just went right. He was actually one of the reasons
I remember seeing Mark Southerns and Jules Breach and Asnem, and they were talking about getting on Souček, and he was going to come good. The stats were there. They were looking like he's going to catch fire, and they were all on him early. And I was watching and the fucking bastards were right.
But who is?
Well, that's the thing. That's what you love about FPL, where you can predict where the points are coming. You're like, okay, fixtures are turning, the underlying stats are there. Let's get on them, and it actually turns into results. That's what you want. You don't want, like as I said, Dallas scoring 2 goals against Man City when we all have them turn on our bench, because then the only people getting those points are poxy bastards who have had injuries or rotation, and then you're cursing those players,
Yeah, Souček, he was there. I could see people knew he was about to catch fire, and
it was super enjoyable when it was happening.
Yeah, and he did.
I'm happy to see a lot of shouts for Gundogan, but I cannot remember for the life of me who actually won this. Was this actually a split vote, or were you just saying that about the chat, Seamus?
No, this actually. Oh wait, this was actually a tie. This was.
Well, technically, I think Paddy, your vote might have pushed it over the edge in favor of your man, because I'm looking at it here. What are you seeing?
Yeah,
I'm seeing a slight edge by less than 0.5% in favor of one man.
Right, yeah, they're both on 43%, but one is lit up as the clear winner, and the runner-up is Gundogan, and the winner is Patrick.
I wonder if that would be different if the vote was after the last game week.
Yeah,
Prick coming off in 58 minutes. Congratulations, Seamus. Great transfer in this week.
Thank you. It was him or Antonio. I could have doubled my points with Antonio.
Oh, well, me. Paddy Bamford comes out with an award.
That was a really, really close vote. It was Bamford and Gundogan, tied.
They split
Yeah.
like 86% of the votes between them. Suchek was actually quite low down. He got my vote, but you know
I think
what?
he like
I
he
do
dried
respect
up.
the other two. I do respect the other two. I mean, I just the Suchek value because he was 5.0, whereas Bamford and Gundogan were 5.5. I just think for 5.0 that I don't want to spend 5.5 on my fifth midfielder. You know, I want to spend 5.0 or 4.5.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose we can wrap up the fur coat, no knickers. Paddy, what do you say? Are you done? Do you want to preach anymore?
No, I'm done. We can move along. We can move along.
All right. Next up, ladies and gents, we have the Fur Coat No Knickers Award. Another one that's been we're lucky enough to have had announced by a friend of the show. This one comes in from Stevie over at the FPL Game Week. If you remember, at the start of the season, I was on their show, which was at the time was called the Llama Lounge, and they've gone on to do a fantastic season of content or interviews with content creators, FPL players, the works. They've done absolutely crazy good work. And if I was to be honest, I think Stevie himself, if I was given an award for probably the most underrated content producer, content creator, whatever the fuck you want to call himself, of the year, I think he would be, hard pushed. It'd be hard pushed to knock him off it. He's done absolutely fantastic work, and it seems like he was busy streaming when he was kind enough to do this video. But I think it makes sense to throw it over to him. Fur coat, no knickers. Take it away, Stevie.
What the hell? It's FPL. Say what the hell? It's FPL. What the hell? It's FPL. Say what? Whoa. What now? Live now? Oh, fuck. Bollocks. 2 seconds. Hey, good afternoon. It's me, Llama, Stevie, from the FPL Game Week. I have been given this privilege this afternoon to make an award, and what an award it is. So, brace yourselves. But this award is for the FPL Furry Coat and No Knickers Award. Some strong candidates in this one, so brace yourself. The nominees are as follows. Got Aubameyang, Mane, Werner, and Kevin De Bruyne. Who do you think your winner was? Can you tell me? What? Wow. Okay, so the votes have been casted, and the award this season for the FPL Furry Knickers. What? Oh, sorry. FPL Furry Coat and No Knickers Award goes to Aubameyang. Lads, you might toil. To find this guy, actually give him the award. Fucking, he's been lost all season. Take it easy.
Going to be big next year. Bigger.
And there we have it. We are back. Thank you very much, FPL Llama, Stevie, FPL Game Week. There's a man of many names, but make sure to go over and check out their YouTube channel. As I said, fantastic interviews with a whole host of different FPL players and creators and all that kind of shit. But to bring it through again, the FPL Furry Knickers Award, as Stevie called it, the nominees were Aubameyang, Mane, Werner, and KDB. So with this one, we ended up putting through a lot of different categories. We had most disappointing, we had flops, we had overpriced, and they all kind of came in together for this one. And I think while, as he said, there was only ever going to be one winner for that, there is a strong argument to be made for the other three contenders. Aubameyang, Mane, Werner, KDB. If I was to throw that over to you, Seamus, who were you voting for there? Who got your vote?
Mane. Yeah, he's been the most disappointing. Didn't like Aubameyang's good. I expected more from Werner. That didn't quite happen, but at least he got a few assists and he contributed, tipped away throughout the season. Not the explosive asset we thought it was going to be. Aubameyang has contributed in spells, but I don't expect too much from Arsenal anyway. Whereas I do expect a lot from the reigning champions Liverpool, especially Mane, who's had 2 great seasons behind him, to do bits. And anytime I chose him over Salah this year, it completely boned me. Especially game week 1, where I was immediately chasing like 36 points getting my 4 points for Mane captain when everyone else had 40 for Salah. So I like it for that reason alone. He gets
Fair
my
enough.
vote.
Paddy, what about you? What are we looking at?
It was a great category. It was tight. Mane, Werner, and Aubameyang. I remember when the fucking FPL started reclassing players, and Aubameyang was reclassed as a midfielder. I was like, he's going straight in my team. I was thinking, I'm going to get Aubameyang. He's gonna be fire. So for me, on that merit alone, it's got to be Aubameyang. Like, Werner came from the Bundesliga, and I played a bit of the Bundesliga fantasy, and I was like, wow, Werner's going to light it up too. But it was between them two. But I've went Aubameyang because I was really excited about Aubameyang being reclassed as a midfielder and then just being a fucking flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know something? What tells a story of my season? These are all in the flop section of the season. 3 of that 4 was in my game week 1 team.
Fuck.
So that goes to tell you how bad a start I made on this.
Who was
So
the fourth
KDB
again?
KDB was the 4th, and he wasn't in it because they had a blank game week 1. But I brought him in a couple weeks later, and at least he got some points. But he's a disappointment too compared to what he can do.
We've got a few. Thomas O'Halloran in the chat. He's saying Alba was easily the worst. Alba was an essential, whereas Mane was a luxury or a cheap route to pool attack. I don't know if I'd agree about Mane being.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he means beforehand, before this season, because he definitely wasn't a cheap route into this year, or maybe even last year.
Was he classed the same price as Salah this year?
12.5 or something like that.
Yeah. So we all went Salah because he was on pens.
But some people doubled up, though. You see, that was the thing. Remember the time that you double up on Liverpool attackers? So that's why I think he's saying he's a luxury. So I think I agree with it in that sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Alba at one stage, when Arsenal had good fixtures, I think they played Fulham game week 1. It was like, or game week 2, and it was like, we gotta have him. And I got blindsided by that. I didn't really fancy Arsenal. They won the FA Cup in August because it was late FA Cup, wasn't it? Beat Chelsea, and everyone was like, you got to have him. And I was like, well, if anything, I'm going to have him if only for coverage pick because I can captain him in game week 2. I think he got 5 points. He got an assist.
Wow.
Yeah, he was totally underwhelming.
Guys,
Mane still got my vote, though.
Yeah, those players that were in that category really fucked up a lot of managers' seasons. I mean, like, I think that was the beginning of the end for the first half of the season for a lot of managers.
Yeah, definitely. Like with Aubameyang, I think it was probably less so because people were just targeting that Arsenal had. I think it was Fulham at the start of the season. I think they was 3-0 or something. Willian with 3 assists, but Arsenal were targeting. Or people were targeting Arsenal's opening match because the likes of City and United were missing a fixture. So I think there was potential there that if Aubameyang had started on fire, like, it would have been tough to get off him, but that wasn't really the case. KDB, disappointing season, but ultimately I think you could chalk it down to injury as opposed to an injury and Man City underperforming when he was in the team at the beginning. They didn't really get their shit together, until Christmas time, we'll say, before Christmas time. But yeah, I think Aubameyang was always going to, like, with the whole move switch, moving over to midfielder and stuff like that, people's hopes were already raised.
Yeah.
And subsequently dashed. But that was the budget. Congratulations, Pierre. Your trophy's in the post. Next up, we've got the best midfielder. I believe that's you again, Paddy. You're taking midfielder?
Yes, over to the best midfielder, and this was a tight enough poll as well. The nominees are Gundogan, Salah, Son, and Bruno Fernandes. And I'll go to you first, Seamus.
I'd have to say Fernandes. I'd have to double check the stats. He's surely the top point scorer in FPL this season so far, isn't he? Has that changed in the last couple of weeks? So for that reason alone, the top midfielder generally is player of the season. It's always one of these guys usually. Like it's Salah or it's Frank Lampard or Cristiano Ronaldo or whatever. But I'd have to say Bruno.
10 points more than Kane, 240, so he's the highest scoring player in the game at the moment. Yeah, easy for me too, actually, Paddy, before you even pass it over. I think I was all about... I mean, I'm a United fan, so, I'm always going to have a bit of bias there.
Yeah.
I do think Salah got... I don't know. Maybe I'm just because of Seamus's slurs at the beginning of the season. It primed me to feel like Salah was getting a rough ride there this season in terms of credit and praise. I actually think he's done excellent in terms of how poor Liverpool have done. He hasn't let his standards drop, and you saw that yesterday, as well.
He shithoused his way to so many points this season. It's just disgusting. This is the season that has like pushed Salah into evil villain territory for me. And I used to love him before this, but the amount I'm just that Crystal Palace game.
What about Son? He's been pretty under praised in this episode, and feel free to let us know in the chat below what you think midfielders of the year. But what about Son? I mean, is he just being overshadowed by Kane, or the fact that he went through a dry spell there, before the last month? I think he's been, it's his highest point scoring season. He's been fantastic.
Yeah. Son's a tricky one. Like I actually had Son. I think I had him. Did he score a hat-trick there a couple of weeks back?
No, he didn't get no hat-trick. Did
he get two goals and an assist or something special? He had a good game week there or two recently, and with me and Son, it's always down to either you pick Son or you pick Kane, and I always seem to go with Son. And anytime I pick Son, he rewards me. Anytime I pick Kane, he fucks me. So for me, Son's a really, he's one of my favorite players as an FPL
I
asset.
think that's fair enough. I do like watching the guy as well. What about you, Seamus? You were saying Fernandes.
Yeah, I love Son. I mean, if you look at it, like Son is 221 points so far this season. He's only 19 points Fernandes behind him. He's 1 point less than Salah, and he's like 3 million cheaper than Salah, and he's 1.7 cheaper than Fernandes. So like value wise, he's got to be one of the best midfielders. He's probably the best midfielder in the game. He's had an amazing season. He's been a bit frustrated. He started off absolutely on fire. Was it against Southampton? He got like 4 goals or whatever it was.
The week everyone transferred him out.
He had all the points. Yeah, he had all the points around then, and then everyone just piled onto him. Kind of went quiet for a while, tipped away, and then went down a I had him for a while, and he went quiet, and I was like, I know I got to keep him here because he will come good. And eventually just got to the point where it's like, I got to get rid of him because Josie was still at the wheel. He's at the helm, and I was like, I got to get rid of him. Like, they got a cup final, they're going to start rotating players, benching players just before the cup final. This is a sinking ship with Jose. I did not expect him to fire Jose, and then all of a sudden, he started playing in a better position. He's being pushed further forward. He's been playing as a 2. He got that like last minute penalty when Kane wasn't on the pitch, and I was like, oh god damn it. So like as soon as I got rid of him, he started scoring points again. So I just haven't been able to time it well this year, and that's the story of my season. But he's been unbelievable this year, and I love him as a player. It's just he's streaky. He goes through spells where he does go 1 goal in 8 games, and then 5 goals in 4 games kind of thing. So yeah, he's a worthy nomination, but I just think like Bruno has just been unbelievable. I can't look past him.
Eamon in the chat. He's inquiring about Paddy's turtleneck and chain sipping on a light beer, I believe. And we've got others talking about Gundogan, Bruno. Tom Moriarty's gone mad. He's saying Bruno in a triple game week, penalty because of a stupid Villa tackle, and then a deflected own goal, and he gets 19 points for doing sweet F all. I don't know if I'd say that. I think when you've got a player that's on penalties like Bruno, you're always gonna be be expecting a bit of at least there's that option. But I'd say, Tom, you're starting to sound like a man who didn't have Bruno captained that week. Yeah.
That happens with Kane and Salah all the time. I remember watching that Villa game where everyone had Kane captained, and Matty Cash, remember, kind of flew in, and Kane did a step over and got taken down, and I was like, this is such a bullshit penalty. It happens. Penalties are a thing, and it's to the detriment of the game to a large extent. But I will point out that with all the people commenting and watching the video, there is not enough likes on this. I mean, guys, you got to start hitting that like button on the video. Get in there.
He's been out for 6 months, but you wouldn't even know it, would you, Paddy?
Brilliant.
He's right back in there.
Jesus, I've never said that once in the fucking whole
Take
time
notes.
here. Like,
take notes.
I'm fucking taking notes.
That was done, Paddy.
You know what? I'm just going to like it myself, and I've just done it. Thank you.
Who's the winner, Paddy? Come on. Who's the winner? Seamus, try not to spill it.
All right. I'll stop fluffing about. Here we go. And by the way, hello, Tom. Tom there, how you getting on? Right. the winner is Emil Smith Rowe. Right on. Of course, the winner is, and that was a great category. The winner is Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. It had to be. He was consistent.
Yeah, and who knows what's left? He's got Fulham. As I said today, United are going to come at them with the power of 1,000 burning suns. And
oh, you know what? I made my transfer immediately after you sent me that.
well, you know,
I swear. And then I screenshotted it and sent it to the Hale Cheaters. He was wondering whose cat is.
they can have that one.
Go
That
ahead.
one's for them. That's for them.
What year says.
Actually, speaking of having one, this is one that I meant to throw out in the Best Budget Player Award. What do you call a cheap circumcision? Nothing. A rip-off. They're laughing. You can have that one too.
Oh,
Send that to Hale Cheaters. You can all have it.
I'm going to
there you
use
go.
that.
But best
There you
midfielder,
go.
Bruno Fernandes. And yeah, congratulations, Bruno. I see he's hanging out with all the Portuguese lads, so he's probably not too bothered. But here you go. From the FPL Hangover, we love you. Next
Well done,
up,
Bruno.
we have what the FPL moment of the season. So another... Oh, no, wait. I need to show off my little... There he is. There's Bruno in a burger. Just for anyone that was wondering. There he is. But next up, we have the What the FPL moment, another guest announced category. This one is by the lovely Lynn FPL. We needed to get a bit of female representation on the pod. That was Paddy's doing. Seamus was actually dead against it. He said no. He said, no, this is FPL. This is not a woman's sport. He didn't.
I am totally pro women. We've had a recent addition to our household, so I'm totally pro girl
so
power.
you're outnumbered now.
That's true.
Fucking right. You'll
Yeah,
never
I'm
you'll never get a
outnumbered in our
fish in your house
household.
now.
No, that's okay. I prefer women. Men are assholes.
We're lucky. We're lucky to even get Lynn on the fucking show today. It took her that long to send the video. She was fixing her hair. What do you see her hair? It's
I can't believe you've thrown her under the bus like that, Paddy.
Lynn's having a fantastic
Paddy.
All right,
hair
well,
day.
without further ado, let's throw it over to the Lynn FPL herself.
Good evening, everyone. I am here to announce the winner of What the FPL Moment of the Season. The nominees are Aston Villa versus Liverpool 7-2, Chelsea West Brom 3-5, Southampton Manchester United 0-9, and the postponed game between United and Liverpool. That's the one I voted for. So let's see. The winner is Liverpool! Yeah! Oh wait. That technically means Aston Villa won, doesn't it? Paddy, why did you give me this category? You could have... You're all drunks. Go to bed.
And we're
there's some-
back,
there's some
everybody.
shade
We're
in
back. I had
front.
to cut across in case Seamus was saying something he shouldn't have been saying. I wasn't sure. But...
No, I was just going to comment that there's a bit of a shade being thrown in the chat there between Tom Moriarty and Tom O'Halloran. They're giving out to each other.
Battle of the two Toms.
Lads, come on.
I won't comment any further.
You're supposed to be on each other's side. Sure, you should be. Thomas is against everyone else. But going back to where we were, FPL Hangover Awards, what the FPL moment. Thanks again, Liz. I know that it's not the easiest, but that did come all the way from Scandinavia, and it's much appreciated. The nominees again were Villa versus Poole 7-2, Man United versus Southampton 9-0, Chelsea versus West Brom 2-5, and Man United versus Poole, that was postponed, obviously, because of the Super League. All shocking moments. You can bet your bottom dollar Alisson's goal would have been in this for sure. At whose expense? I don't know, maybe Chelsea West Brom. But this also got a bit of this was the only one that I put on Twitter that got a bit of pushback by someone who was basically suggesting that the postponement wasn't that big a fucking deal and shouldn't even be listed. And if anything, he'd have put, I can't remember, someone else winning 3-1 any other day in it. But look, they're my 4 nominations, and let us know what you think in the chat. But as Lynn mentioned, Villa versus Poole, that was some shocker. I mean, I love it just because it took the... that was the one he suggested. The 6-1 Spurs United match. But that was, the kindly overshadowed by the Liverpool Villa result. 7-2 crazy start to the season. They still had Van Dijk then, if memory serves me correctly. This is before his injury. So no excuses from their defence. What about you? What was your votes on that? Seamus?
Well, the United game the day before when they lost to Spurs was it the night before or
It was earlier that day. It was the 5 o'clock
exactly.
kickoff. Yeah.
It was earlier that day. It was like the morning kickoff and the Liverpool was the evening kickoff. That had, left me in peak humor, especially seeing as we know so many different. And I was like, I just don't want to be online right now. And then the Liverpool game happened, and that was such a nice palate cleanser, and such a shock. I mean, like that. I'd actually say if this vote happened and the Alisson goal was in it, that would be my vote. But the Liverpool losing 7-2, the champions against a team who up to that point had a couple of played pretty well, but just avoided relegation season before. We didn't really know how well they could play. To not concede 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 7 goals, that was one of those ones I can't believe what I'm watching here. The United game being postponed, I actually kind of thought there's a chance this might be postponed. I didn't think it was, but whatever. It fucked my game week. But the rest of them, the Southampton have already lost 9-0 or 9-1 or whatever before, so I wasn't too shocked with that. The rest, though, that the Liverpool game had by far and away of the options, the one I went with.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that was mine too. What about your own, Paddy? Actually, no, I voted for the postponed game. But go on, Paddy. What about you?
I just want to say, hated, adored, but never ignored. Manchester United are in 3 categories here, so they are. What you know what I mean? That's they just
some of
headliners.
Some of these categories are like shithouse categories, though. That's the thing.
They are.
And they were written by a United fan, so a little bit biased.
What? So let's just go through them a wee minute. The Man United versus Southampton 9-0. What a fucking day! That was a great day. That could easily have been one of the greatest moments ever in the season, bar the Liverpool celebrating the West Ham draw that time. There's also the postponement between the United-Liverpool game. A lot of people, Seamus, you had like fucking 12 players in that game. That would have fucked a lot of people's seasons up. So that is like a what the fuck moment. Or is this the what the fuck? Yeah, what the FPL moment?
I had a 6.8 million game week rank that game week because of that. Because I had 4 players lost in that game, plus Tommy Tuchel had decided to bench 2 of my players, so I just didn't have a covering bench. I ended up playing 9 players, 8 players.
That was a real what the FPL moment for a lot of people. So this is a great category. Chelsea, West Brom, meh.
That was the week Seamus and the General, I believe, had used his wildcard and tripled up on Chelsea defence. Maybe he'd gone the week before, but I think that's why I put that in there, because that was the week everyone went, Tommy Tucks, he knows how to defend, here we go. And boom, 5 goals by West Brom that game, and I was loving it.
Right, fuck. I forgot clean about that, but when you add the context, actually was a fucking hairy moment. For me, anyway, I voted for the Villa versus Pool game, only because I got absolutely slaughtered, abused. My wife got insulted. My children got insulted. Not really, never let the truth get in front of a good story, Seamus. But that's what it felt like in my WhatsApp group with, and we all have close mates. It's a big rivalry. We were hammered. The emojis were fucking piling in. People were fucking, battering. Phones were broke. Anyway,
2 hours later,
right after, and then 2 hours later, the Paddy Powers fucking meltdown video was shared, and Liverpool got beat 7-2 by Aston Villa. You couldn't fucking make it up. It was phenomenal, and for me, just because of the absolute onslaught of abuse I got that day, and then that happening, that was my what the FPL moment. Because, what was the chances of two big rival
Getting
clubs,
smashed
on the same day, getting smashed.
No, I'm with you, Petty. I was delighted. Honourable mention there. Tom Arty brings it up in the chat. Pool 4 Leeds 3 opening day of the season. That was an absolute cracking game. I don't know if I would have, put it up there with what the fuck, like, oh Jesus, but it was definitely, it wasn't going to be easy to remember.
That was a Friday night game, if I recall. Is that right, Jer? Because I always expect
so, no.
No? Well, I always expect those game week 1 and game week 38 fixtures to throw up one or two mental kind of things. So it's never a what the fuck. It's just like, oh, here we go, back into the swing of things, mental game. And yeah, we all kind of thought them yet, but we all thought Leeds could be a bit open, but we know what they did. They were a kind of high pressing team, and we thought there could be goals involved. So it wasn't a what the fuck moment for that, but it was great to see. I was like, oh, here we go. This is what we're going to get this season, and that's kind of how it's turned out. So, actually, look, we all seem to agree on the same moment ourselves. Yeah. But like, what was about the vote? Was the vote close? What did people say?
Penny? Yeah, Penny.
Oh yeah, well, the winner is.
And dead silence.
The winner is.
I haven't checked this one, so I don't know.
Manchester United and Liverpool, or what the fuck?
The winner is Villa versus fucking Pool that Liam called out 5 minutes ago, for fuck's sake.
That's the one, sorry. Sorry, you know what? I went to click the fucking thing and I fucking had a notification by accident.
No, it's alright.
I haven't seen Liam's video because I've got YouTube on one thing, but I've got it muted, so I didn't actually hear the winner. So I will watch that back. I want to see those videos back later. I've seen one or two of them, but not all of them.
We've got a couple more left. There's actually only 4 categories left. FPL Forwards, Scumbag Hall, FPL Life Hack, and FPL Player of the Year. So 4 big ones. Make sure to stick around. Keep hitting the like button. I don't know if you can hit it more than once, but try. And
no, don't hit it, because you hit like again, you take off your like.
Oh yeah, don't. So maybe that's why there's only 9. Maybe people are accidentally unliking it. They're so goddamn focused on hitting that button.
Faster in the like.
There's 10 there.
We've got FPL Forward up next. FPL Forward of the Year. I believe this one's you, Seamus.
I've got this one. So like the categories, the nominations are for FPL Forward of the Year. Just going straight into it, no cuddling. You've got Harry Kane, Patrick Bamford, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and Ollie Watkins. Okay, all forwards who've done really, really well this year. So as a matter of interest, Ger, I'm just going to see, have you selected the 4 highest point scorers this season? You haven't, actually. You've omitted Jamie Vardy. Is there a reason you didn't want to include Vardy on that list?
Yeah, because he can go fuck himself.
Controversial.
No, Vardy he had a fantastic start to the season. I don't know how many goals he scored that weren't penalties, by the way. I would like to throw that out this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of penalties. He's had 13 goals and 14 assists. He's had an unreal amount of assists.
But how many of those 13 goals came in the first couple of months? That's what I was looking at when I was going through it. I was like, he basically has got 1 goal in his last, 11, 12 game weeks?
He had 8 and 8. He had 10 and 12. So if he's had 10 and 12, that means he's had like 3 in the last 13.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's tailed off. But he has been adding some assists, at least to keep his score ticking over. But I've had him the last maybe 8 game weeks whenever I played my wild card. And he's just not got the mustard.
He's not got the mustard. And I think the 4 forwards up there all have given us something to talk about. I mean, I think Watkins is the one that would have taken Vardy's place. And he, as a striker who's literally his first season in the Premier League, at least for Villa, I don't know if he was in it before, but first season in the Premier League, I think he's got 13 goals. That's a great start, and I definitely think he deserves a nomination in that anyway.
Yeah. No, he's got the same amount of goals as Vardy, albeit less assists. And he's been excellent. And when you compare the prices, there's no comparison. So
there's none.
Watkins 6.4, Vardy 9.2. So I mean, yeah, Watkins hasn't got as many points, but like there's only 15 points in it for like 3-4 million almost in price difference. So I do agree with the category here. Like for me, it's fairly straightforward. As much as good value as Bamford, DCL, and Watkins have been, Harry Kane's been the leading striker this season. You know, he's level on goals, I think, with Mo Salah for goals, but he's also got a metric crap ton of assists as well. So his points are just rolling in.
Yeah, Nuclear agrees with you in the chat room as well. Tom, not so much. He's about Bamford or Watkins. But yeah, I voted for Kane. Paddy, where did you come in on that?
Yeah, I voted for Bamford. You know, I didn't have Kane all season. This was Kane's actually highest scoring season in FPL he ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I read that earlier, and
Kane.
yeah.
But go on, you went with Bamford.
Oh no, you can fact check.
No,
me on
you're
that,
right.
but-
You're right. I'm just checking.
right.
I'm surprised. You're right, though. You are
Yeah.
right. He's got 230 points, and his
Yeah.
previous best has been 224.
Yeah,
In 2016, 2017.
don't be
So,
surprised,
yeah, that's
Seamus.
crazy.
I know me stuff. And
No. It's interesting.
only
It caught me by surprise. I was
Yeah,
like,
You
Well,
should
yeah.
be surprised.
No,
Seamus.
but it caught me by surprise, Seamus, because I actually quote tweeted that tweet and said, "Jesus, it didn't feel like it." Because it didn't to me, because I didn't get any of his fucking points, because I didn't have him as much as I should have, obviously. But for me, I voted Bamford because he was a loyal servant to me throughout the FPL season, and the price point enabled me to have other players that I liked.
Yeah.
And you fucking
with
hate Kane.
Bamford-
Let's get the cards on the table here, buddy.
Yeah, I fucking hate him, and he never. I've bad history with him.
Fair enough. But what was the results of that one,
a
Seamus?
solid rush. The results of that one was in favour of Kane. He won by quite a bit. Not too surprising if you were to just go to the statistics page or transfer page and sort by forwards. You know, he's well out ahead. You know, he's like 50 odd points ahead of Bamford. I think there was a case to be made for Bamford more than the other two, but especially considering his starting price. Was he 5.5 at the start of the season?
Who Bamford was 5.5, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he
crazy.
was.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Kane, I think, is a worthy winner, and he runs away with the lead. So, not too much to say more about that, unless you want to praise his virtues anymore.
No, I think there's worth mentioning a couple of honourable mentions. Maybe would have never really got in. We've already talked about Vardy, but Chris Wood, he's made a bit of a name for himself from the end of the season. Again, I don't think he would have really got in the last four, but people are talking about him, which is more than you would imagine for a Burnley striker. And Callum Wilson, you got to imagine that if he had managed to stay injury free this season, he might have actually been, easily in that top four. When he played, he was pretty lethal for Newcastle. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Callum Wilson was immense. I mean, if you were to continue looking by order of points scored, one player you've omitted there amongst all those players you've already mentioned is Shea Adams, which is surprising. He's sixth on the list, just behind Watkins. Well, I say just behind. He's 21 points behind. There's a bit of a drop off between Watkins, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy, and Adams in sixth place. But he has more points ahead of Wood. Wood was very, very quiet. I think I saw he had 3 goals in the first 20 games up to Christmas or New Year's, and it's just been since March he's been absolutely slaying it. So, but Adams has been tipping away. A couple of games there, he get a goal.
I think I might have deliberately left
here, and it's
Adams
just
out.
it's
Wow.
not spectacular. Not
Seamus,
spectacular though.
I love those stats, James. What was Wilson again there? Can you give me Wilson again?
Wilson's the same amount of points as Chris Wood. He's on 134 and only 2 behind Shea Adams. But you can imagine, like Ger was saying, if he wasn't injured so much this season, he'd be much higher up because he's got 12 goals, 6 assists. Really, it's Newcastle's detriment.
Seamus, he was a great servant to me for the start of the season. I actually kept him. I'm guessing now about up to game week 13.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, and it looks like he's missed 10 games this season. Yeah. So out of 36 games, he's only played 26. So 18 attacking returns in 26 games is actually great.
Yeah, I stuck by him at the start.
With 134 points. There's been times, I think I had him in a free hit team. I think I played my free hit in game week 21 or 19 or whatever. And he did jack all. But, I mean, he's still a great player. He's had a good season, just injury concerns. Someone to watch out for next year if you're going to buy any Newcastle player, I guess it would be him.
If you can stay injury free. But that brings the FPL forwards to a nice conclusion. Fair play to you, Mr. Harold Kane. We'll be seeing you at Old Trafford next season. Next up is the FPL Scumbag Haul of the Year. Again, another category that is one of my favourites and is luckily enough announced by a guest and friend of the show, Drew from Renegades, FPL Renegades. They've been on a baby hiatus similar to yourself, Seamus, but as Drew is the one that makes everything tick on that show, it couldn't continue without him. So unfortunately for any of the Renegades fans out there, you'll have to make do with this little nod to you. But here we go. I will hand it over to Drew himself.
Good evening and welcome to the annual FPL Hangover Awards, where we celebrate the great and the good, but the mainly heartbreaking events of the FPL season. My name is Drew from the FPL Renegades podcast. I'm pretty sure all 8 of our listeners also listen to the Hangover podcast. So, hi guys, hope you're having a good season. If you haven't listened to the FPL Hangover podcast, it's kind of like a mix of Sons of Anarchy and The Hobbit, talking all things FPL, and it's well worth a watch. So, without further ado, let's get stuck into my award, which is Scumbag Hall Award of the Year. I'm not sure why I was given that one, but one of those where when it goes in your favour, it makes your weekend, but when it goes against you, it's like an absolute dagger to the heart. So the nominees for this award are Bruno Fernandes against Brighton, where he was awarded a penalty kick the very next day and got himself a last-minute haul. John Stones for becoming prime Sergio Ramos and scoring twice against Crystal Palace when everyone only owned him because they couldn't afford Ruben Diaz. Do you remember that? Gareth Bale against Burnley. I can't remember that one, so it obviously didn't affect me. And then Mo Salah against Crystal Palace. Mega haul off the bench when there was early team news saying that he wasn't going to be in the starting lineup, but people still captained him and got away with it. So all worthy nominees and all would be worthy winners. Let's see who got the vote. And it is John Stones himself. So Mr. 1 goal in the previous 3 seasons. He'd had about 3 shots in the previous 10 weeks. But for that day when I didn't own him, he decided to become prime Sergio Ramos. There you go, John Stones. Thanks guys, good luck, good night.
And we're back. So there we have it. Thank you, Drew, for that. FPL Scumbag Hall of the Year. Now we know the winner, and it was a winner by a long margin, was John Stones with his 21-pointer against Crystal Palace. But we all have kind of different opinions on this. I know I would have been looking pretty closely at that Salah versus Palace match, mainly because of... What the fuck are you doing, Petty? He's going mental.
I'm just doing magic.
But basically because of the Palace match, Seamus not having Salah or captain, at least maybe not even having Salah that week, and the fact that he got benched and somehow managed to come off and got 16 points within 30 minutes, you can't really complain with that, can you?
No, that game was like the worst point of my season, I'm going to say. Probably was. It was the game. I had Mane for a while. I was trying to catch up in mini leagues. I was like, wasn't impressed with Liverpool. Wasn't really impressed with Salah. I was like, he's just bluffing his way to penalties and stuff here. I think he'd won a dodgy penalty against Brighton a week or so beforehand. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to back Mane. Captained him. Mane got a goal and an assist. I'm like, boom, they're killing it here. He was taken off on like 55 minutes or something like that. I was like, why the fuck is he taking him off when they're 4-0 up after 55 minutes? Mane wasn't impressed. I definitely wasn't impressed. And then they went on and scored a rake more goals, and Salah getting all the points off the bench. Because I thought I was already counting my chickens. I was counting those little chickies, and I was saying, these Salah owners, they're eating humble pie. Me here, my Mane owner, getting all the points. In the end, Salah hauled off the bench. Mane got 0 bonus points, and I'm sitting here holding my dick in my hand, looking like an absolute idiot. So that was almost
afternoon.
me. Regular Saturday. That was me almost quitting the game, kind of like, but I wasn't. It was everything I could take in my power not to go on Twitter and just start abusing some lad from some other part of the world. But I just, when that happens, you just got to walk away from your phone, walk away from FPL
I was
Twitter.
sitting at a roundabout in Limerick City eating a Burger King. Well, I wasn't sitting in a roundabout. I was looking at a roundabout, sitting beside it, parked beside it in the car, and watching the Crystal Palace match on my phone. And I can't tell you how happy I was, because obviously I knew your context to it, and I was laughing my balls off the whole way through it. So that took my vote. But what about you, Paddy? How are you looking at?
To everyone else. Could I just interject there for a moment? Because everyone else that was just a case of, oh, well, sure, we all have Salah captain anyway. But that wasn't the case because the rumor had come in just before deadline that he wasn't starting.
I didn't believe the rumor. That's why I kept it on him.
Yeah. Yeah, but there had been a somewhat reliable leak who said he was probably going to start. So a lot of people had changed it off him to somebody else. But a lot of people said, no, fuck, we'll stick with him anyway. And just to see, yeah. I've said my piece. Paddy, please.
No, I'm with you there, Seamus. I remember that Salah rumor. It actually came into a few group chats, came into a few WhatsApps and stuff. That Salah, it was basically set in stone that fucking Salah wasn't playing or wasn't starting. And I actually thought I was having a really down the line season. Up until this point, I was playing everything by the book. I wasn't breaking any of the rules I set myself, and I thought to myself, you know what? This is going to be my moment where I'm going to, I've got the inside information. Fuck the casuals. And
yes.
I was like, yes, I know.
I know.
I know something. I know something you guys don't, And I sold Salah. I sold him. I fucked him out. I binned him. I can't remember who I bought. I should have fucking researched this. I can't remember who I bought, but I sold the wanker. And he came off the bench. I was like, oh, he didn't start. Great. And then he came off the bench and he fucking done 16 points. It was a real kick in the stones.
In the John Stones.
Yeah, in the John Stones. That might have also been the day that we were blessed with the birth of Randy Shafter.
The day that Crystal Palace.
It sounds like that sounds like the day that might have birthed him.
It seems to have got enough people's goat up to spawn such a venomous cretin as Shafter. They needed something pretty dark.
Yeah. Can enlighten me in the Stones Palace one again.
That was the week that basically everyone was going for City, and anyone that could afford Diaz got Diaz, and anyone that couldn't afford Diaz got Stones.
Yes.
So Diaz, it was in the double game week, and Diaz ended up getting a goal and a clean sheet that week as well. So he got something like 14 points, but it wasn't the 21 points that John Stones got. And I think he went on and got a clean sheet in the second match, so it ended up being 27, but 21 points. Against Crystal Palace, 2 fucking goals. He hadn't scored in, what was it, James, like 3 or 4 years? And
I think he had 1 goal or something in 3 years or something like that, and then he just had 2 in 1 game. It was, and like proper goals, like it was just the case of when he got the second one, I started laughing. I was like, this is ridiculous. I didn't have him, but I didn't vote for that because it wasn't the rank killer that Salah getting a haul off the bench was for me at that moment in time. But I laughed at it. I was like, that's hilarious. And I think I had him in the following week or the week after. I was like, fuck this, gotta get him. But
yeah, that was crazy. And before you announced the winner and stuff, I can't actually. I'll have to wait to actually you actually
have announced the winner.
Oh, the winner's been announced, has it?
Drew announced it in the video. You bollocks.
Oh, I was waiting for a push. Right. So I can't believe that the Salah one was the least fucking. It was 4th in the poll.
Yeah, I think that's John Stones was pretty much running away with it.
Yeah, that just goes to show you how much that hurt
100%,
people. Because Salah fucking hurt me.
But look.
Yeah, a lot of people obviously just made the wrong decision that week and they remember it. I don't think anyone really was too hurt by the Bale goal. The Fernandes one.
The Bale one, I threw in because
that came after.
I had triple captained Harry Kane that game week, and to see them beat Burnley 4-1 and he come out of it with a fucking assist, I was pretty pissy with the Bale haul. I was like, are you kidding me? Get out of here. But we'll tie a bow on it because we're running a bit long. We've got 2 categories left. We'll do a quick one here. It's the second last one. It's the FPL Life Hack of the Year. So basically an award out there for all those FPL assets who sit in our team, sit in the benches. We don't ever expect points for them. They're there because they either are extremely budget friendly or are out of position and might get some minutes. There's lots of different reasons, but we've always had them. We've had them every year. Sometimes you have Wan-Bissaka, who's a 4 million defender that does absolutely amazing. You have your Lundstroms from last year. This year, not so many top scoring ones, but all 4 of them are worthy of it. Ryan Brewster. Burke for Sheffield United. I think that's Ollie Burke. Tyreek Mitchell and Button. There was only one winner. He's probably the one that everyone had in their team. And if you've had him over the last few weeks, you're laughing. Tyreek Mitchell runs away with that with 72%. Any thoughts on that from you guys before we move on?
I know that was he's been in my team from game week 1 and he's still fucking there.
I actually voted for Brewster in this. I thought just because he's
Fuck
just Mr. Binary himself, 4.5 striker. You were hoping for him to just start scoring a tiny bit, 6 points in 3 games, or a goal in every 3. You'd be delighted, you'd be laughing. But never came to be. But he got my vote. It didn't pan that way. I think Mitchell's recent exploits have secured him top spot. What about you, Seamus? Or Paddy, you've got your hand up.
I also voted for Ryan Brewster, but this new guy, Daniel Jebison, who started and scored against Everton for Sheffield United, has already outscored Ryan Brewster in 115 minutes compared to, I don't even know what Ryan Brewster has. But yeah, Ryan Brewster was just the sort of guy who was on my bench, never once wanted to start him. I think I had him for a good 15 game weeks, 10 to 15 game weeks anyway, and I don't think he ever once came off my bench. And that's exactly what I want for that set and forget third spot attacker. But I think Tyreek Mitchell actually probably is the right result for his price. He was 4.0, even cheaper again, and he did hits. We all thought Ferguson at the start of the season.
Yeah, he was.
That Ferguson guy was.
Yeah, he was kind of the one who they were pinpointing. I think they'd already recently bought him, but the injury kind of fucked him up, and Mitchell got his place, and then Mitchell kind of got a knock, and then Nathaniel Klein, I believe, took over a little bit, but he seems to have taken his spot back, and with Klein departing in the summer, I wouldn't be surprised if Mitchell is their starting fullback next season, personally.
Yeah, and Van Aanholt is out of contract as well. I think he's meant to be leaving, unless he signed a new contract. I'm not aware of. But yeah, no, Mitchell could be interesting, but he's not going to be 4.0.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, Penny? Any last thoughts before we move on to the final category?
Yeah, my last thoughts were Mitchell all the way, and of course he's my sub in the most recent game week, and he came on for Foden and got me 13 points.
Did you jam his points?
I jammed his fucking points. And I just want to also say that those jammed points won me 250 quid this week as well in a head-to-head battle. So
lovely.
Mitchell all day long for me.
I would see now. Now I'm happy he jammed your points.
Yeah, he jammed.
If you're going to win so a head-to-head, you want to do with a bit of jam because that other person is cursing their luck right now.
Yeah, so I'm fucking delighted. I love Mitchell. Yeah.
So fair play to you, Mitchell. We might be seeing you next year. So the future looks bright for that chap. Let's move on to the last category. We have saved arguably the best for last. It's the FPL Player of the Season, Player of the Year. You call it what you want to do, but we've got one final guest announcer. You guys might recognize him from our one and only FPL High Stool that we did this season. It's Keane at FPL Uncorked, former number 1 in Ireland 2018-2019, 27th in the world that season, so he's got the pedigree. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Keane, you're up.
Hi Jar, Paddy, Seamus and all the good listeners here at the FPL Hangover podcast. Thanks for inviting me on here tonight to award the FPL Hangover Player of the Season award. Delighted to be invited on to announce this award. Our nominees are Emi Martinez, Stuart Dallas, Bruno Fernandes and Harry Kane. Jar, if you can just insert a drum roll sound here and I'll pause for dramatic effect, okay? Go. The winner is Emi Martinez. A massively deserving winner in my opinion. Starting the season at 4.5 million, Emi gets points out of his fucking arse. And with 2 games remaining, he is 8 points away from breaking the all-time goalkeeper record in FPL. With 15 clean sheets, 7 double-digit hauls, 27 bonus points and 18 returns of 4 points or more. A remarkable record from a goalkeeper. Congratulations, Senor Martinez, the FPL Hangover Player of the Season, and a polite little fuck you to Stuart Dallas.
And we're back. We're missing Seamus because he couldn't take a piss within 60 seconds, but we're here anyway.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah, if only his sex life was the same. But delighted to have you, Keane. Thanks for that. And as he said there, player of the year, there was a few decent shouts for this one, Paddy. Would you agree?
Yeah, they were brilliant. They were brilliant shouts. Give us a quick recap there.
Are you serious? You're going to put me under the spotlight like that?
Yeah.
Right, so we did one for every position. I had it kind of different at the start, but there's Martinez, who actually won our FPL goalkeeper of the year. There was Dallas, who won the defender of the year. There was Fernandez, who won our midfielder of the year. And there was Harry Kane, who won the forward of the year. So basically what it ended up being, and it was kind of a true coincidence, was winner of every category ended up going to the player of the year awards. And as Keane, it was a bit shock to me. It was a surprise. I was fully sure Fernandez is winning this one. But no, we have our first FPL Hangover player of the year, and it's a goalkeeper, Emi Martinez. He started the show with an award. He's ending the show with an award. I don't know if he wasn't my vote, but he was 35% of everyone's votes, and duly,
wow,
35%, and there was quite a few votes in that one as well. So, you know, it's there, it's on paper. He's won it. What do you guys have to say about that?
The player of the year, Jesus, that's a super category for Martinez to win. And do you know what? I don't know if he would have been player of the year for me personally, with my season. I would have had to have been Dallas, but you know what? I'll respect the people, the power of the people, and congratulations to Martinez.
What about you, Seamus? How you feeling? Who'd you vote in that one?
I'm just looking at it. There's a tick next to Kane's name, so it looks like I voted for Kane, but I must have been drunk. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Maybe
that.
It was right after he scored for you there yesterday when.
Maybe he was my captain in game week 35 or 36, so maybe that was influencing my decision. But I'm surprised it wasn't Dallas. I thought I voted for Dallas, but it was up between Dallas and Fernandez.
But
those are the two
Kane.
I've had the longest in my team. I know. But I thought it would been Dallas because he's sheer value. Like when it comes to player of the season in FPL terms, I am thinking value kind of quite a bit, and like what Dallas has returned, just the sheer out of positionness from him. It was a bit unfortunate that a few times where I did play him, he was starting left back, and a few times I did bench him. I was looking at the lineup sheet, I was like, oh crap, he's playing in midfield now. It was hard to call, but I thought he was amazing this year. Fernandez was a close second. He was only second because he blanked for me a few times when I would have captained him. Whereas Dallas, I didn't expect too much, and he constantly over-delivered. So, and Martinez, though, I think is a worthy winner. But like, I voted for Kane, and right now I'm thinking Kane would probably be the
least
one I
out
vote
of the
for
three
last
of them.
now.
Maybe you were just being a prick and just spamming the posts.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we're wrapping it up, Paddy. Have you any last thoughts on player of the year? I mean, Martinez, we talked about him a lot at the start of the season, but I didn't expect him to win it. Did you?
No, I fucking didn't. Respect to him, and that was a well, that was a good voted on category. But for me, it's Dallas. It's fucking justice for Dallas.
Hashtag
Can
justice
we-
for Dallas. We'll just change
Can
it.
we just give it to Dallas?
Sorry, we can't. The votes are in. Stop the count. But the count has already been made. I'm sorry.
You mean resume the count?
Resume that count. It's going to keep happening for Dallas.
Yeah, it's Dallas for me. The price, the fucking out of position. He already won the Lord Lundstrom.
The life app, the Lord
Yeah.
Lundstrom life app.
If he had gone quiet for like the last
He
5
didn't.
10 weeks, you would be like, oh, he's a great season. But he's just kept it up. So I think for that reason, he's in my thinking as well. But look, Martinez is a worthy winner. Like, it's not often a goalkeeper is going to win this. But I think even if he didn't go for Martinez, even though he's exceptional value, if you went with somebody else like Meslier and just stuck with him all season, you would have still got exceptional value. So if you missed out on Martinez's points, you could have got them elsewhere. I don't think if you missed out on Fernandez or Dallas's points, there's too much points to make those up elsewhere. You'd be kicking yourself if you missed Dallas's points because
And you'd be kicking yourself even more if you missed Fernandez because of how highly owned he was and shit. But I get you. That's spot on. But I think we'll wrap it up there, folks. We are hitting the end of it. We've been going for 1 hour and 35 minutes. I want to put a big thank you out there to everyone who's got involved. There's been loads of views. I'm so happy with that. All the guys who put in effort into sending us those videos, everyone that's voted, everyone that's watched an episode, liked a tweet, whatever. We'll be back for another episode next week. We'll have one more before the season's out because there is 2 game weeks left, so we can't end it on the awards. But this is kind of our end of season party, and I wanted a big shout out to all of you guys. Paddy, do you wanna say your goodbyes?
Yeah, I want to say it was brilliant crack, and I thought that all the categories and all the work you put into that year, I have to give you credit. You've done a great job, and I love this. This was a really fun end of the season show, and I hope that we can grow this end of the season show, and I'm really looking forward to it next season because it was great fun.
I'm with you, Seamus.
Yeah, I think absence makes the heart grow fonder because I really enjoyed this here tonight. And I haven't been enjoying my FPL the last 5 to 10 weeks. That's got to do with not enough sleep, overexposure to football. I'm not enjoying these staggered games. I preferred when FPL was a blitz of kickoffs at 3 p.m. on a Saturday plus a couple of games on a Sunday, maybe a Monday night game, but a Friday night game, 4 games live on a Saturday, 4 games live on a Sunday, 2 games on a Monday. All this stuff I think it's taken from the game a bit. But hopefully, if normality resumes a bit next season, it can be a bit normal. Now you won't say the same, Jer, because you're having one of your best ever seasons, and I applaud you. But it just makes me want the season to wrap up even sooner.
Yeah, I get it.
I've enjoyed this episode, though. I've enjoyed this episode, and it's good to be back for
it's been amazing to have you back. It's actually been amazing to have the 2 of you on because, as I said, this is the first where you've been on the same show together, and I knew it would work out well as soon as I did the first one. Paddy, I was like, the 2 of you would work well on the show, and it hasn't proven me wrong yet. Hopefully there'll be more, but we will wrap it up. If you want to catch Seamus, he's on Twitter at FPL Drunk. Paddy, you're on Twitter at FPL Viking _. You're also on Instagram, am I right? What's the name on Instagram?
FPL Viking on Instagram.
Perfect.
As well.
Perfect. Yeah. Reach out to them. He's got his Viking dippers on, and Seamus has an OnlyFans page. But again, a big thank you to everyone. If you want to shout out to us, we have Twitter at FPL Hangover. You can also reach us on email at FPL Hangover. Or no, just fplhangover@gmail.com. Every fucking week I do that, but whatever. Thanks again for everyone joining us. I hope you have a really enjoyable game week 37. We'll see you soon. And God bless.